Yakshimaj, this Vladimir Klitschko, ex-heavyweight champion of world. I just want to say, make sure you subscribe and like the video of Triple B. Yes, this brother Vitaly Klitschko, mayor of Kiev. When you come Kiev, make sure you come to my house. Is for prostitutes and strip clubs. I have the best prostitutes in Ukraine. He's long live Zelensky. He is our brother in arms. Slava Ukraini. Yeah, you two wrong-uns. Especially Vitaly. There's some very big rumors. I'm going to do a video on it. Well, there's proof as well, basically. He owns a whole bunch of strip clubs. He's involved in human trafficking. There's a human rights activist from Ukraine, female, and she has called him out. The Klitschkos are, of course, from the same tribe as Zelensky. So, you know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Think about that. But yeah, Vitaly is unbelievably a wrong'un, a very bad wrong'un. Everyone thinks the Klitschkos are clean because they never used to speak, you know, disrespectfully. Right, but they would cheat, you know. When they tried, you remember they tried to put the to make the padding on the ring really, really, really soft, so Tyson Fury couldn't box. And you know, to give them credit, the Fury family and Big John Fury, we're not boxing here unless you change this ring mat, and they did, and then Tyson scored a fantastic upset. Now box Klitschko. I don't even buy he's a boring fight. I don't think it was at all. I thought it was a nice display of boxing, and you know, a nice away win. Of course, they victimized Tyson afterwards because he'd victimize people with a certain size hat. I'm sorry, he talked out against people with a certain size hat, banking, batty business, all this kind of stuff. So they decided to go for him and victimize him. Anyway, that's another story. So another day in boxing, and guess what? Another day, another ancient has been, you know, is coming back to say they want to box again. Now this time is Vladimir. Now Vladimir, so he has hinted, you know, he's wanted to get back in the ring for a few years, you know what I'm saying? Now, Vladimir, this is, not Vitaly, Vladimir Klitschko, and he's going to be 49 years old next month. He's 48, he's going to be 49, so almost 50. I mean, I'm sick of these old boys. I mean, he would have stayed in shape, you know. Klitschko's were always in good shape. You know, they never got fat or anything like that. I don't even know if they drink, or if they do, they don't drink a lot. And the so-called Dr. Steelhammer was asked by Turki Al-Sheikh if he was up to having a fight, you know, when they met. And at the Alexander Usyk Tyson Fury 2 fight. You know, Klitschko's, and then the rumors started buzzing, you know. Oh, it's all rumors in the modern world and in boxing. You know, boxing all these days, you know, it's just talk. It's a soap opera, innit? Like it used to be, some press conferences, a few, you know, maybe a couple of interviews, a big enough fight on Terry Wogan or something like that. And if you're a boxing fan, you read it in a magazine, and that's it. Mostly it was about fighting. Now it's about talking. Anyway, Klitschko announced though, oh no, I'm not going to come back. My attention is currently focused on defending my country against the ongoing Russian invasion, not on boxing. Yeah. What's the truth there, man? What's the truth there? If you're red-pilled, you know that. Yeah? By the way, I'm not on Russia's side or Putin's side. The whole war disgusts me, you know. It's just another way to kill yet more, you know, European Christians. Yeah. Whilst Vitaly, Vladimir, Zelensky sit there rubbing their hands and watching. And Putin as well. There are rumors that he likes rubbing hands too. So let me be straight. But in 2014, the people of the Crimea and that area who are basically Russian in ethnicity and want to be Russian of nationality, yeah, they wanted to break away, but Ukrainians wouldn't allow it. I mean, there's a lot of resources in Ukraine, I understand that, but you know, and they kind of put down, you know, they persecuted the Russians and put down any sign that the Russians wanted to leave. Yeah, the Russians that were based in Crimea, in Ukraine, right? So that's the real story. It was not a random attack by Putin. Yeah, and Ukraine carried on to persecuting these Russians who wanted to, become part of Russia. And it's very, it reflects WW2 quite a lot, World War II. Look at that. We're never told the truth about what happens in these BS. Oh, I've got idiots near where I live who got Ukraine flags out. They wouldn't even, never probably heard of Ukraine before. They certainly can't point it out on a map now, I guarantee. Because they've been told the Ukrainians are the good guys and the bad guys are the evil Russians. You got to support, and you get it in the papers, like, the scum. And they will have pictures of Russians tanks and Russians being killed, and they'll be celebrating it like it's a good thing. It's sickening, the hypocrisy, right? And by the way, I'm taking no sides. It sickens me that they're dragging these yet again, the governments, the elitists, the bankers, the warmongers are dragging in innocent poor people basically to kill other innocent poor people. From a different country who are slightly different, it's sickening. So, the story, it's a Russian invasion. Well, the Russians were protecting the Russian peoples in Crimea, much like, look at WW2. Look at that. Look at how that started. Look at how Germany, led by an Austrian painter. Not a bad painter either, actually, quite talented. But, the painter, so in the Danzig area, which is a former part of Germany, but a lot of Germany was given, in the Versailles Treaty, Germany was persecuted, and he gave all the land, a lot of land away that was German, back to Poland, and created Poland. Poland's a weird nation that's changed so much over the years and gone to war with all kinds of people. It's their neighbours. Poland's got a strange history. I mean, that's another story, yeah. But they also took away. What's it called? Germany had a few colonies, I think, like Namibia and stuff, but not much. But they didn't have a big navy. They didn't have a lot of colonies, And there's this lie: oh, the evil Germans wanted to take over the world and expand and make everyone talk German. Are you joking? The Austrian painter and the other Germans wanted to save the Germans that had been persecuted and killed in the Danzig area. And they tried to negotiate. But of course, the bankers and the people in charge and that warmongering Winston Churchill wanted a war. So they didn't. And so when the Germans invaded the Danzig area, they went, oh no, you've broken the Schleswig Agreement. You've invaded Poland, even though it's actually even though it's really German land, German clay. Yeah. And despite Germany not wanting a war and trying to negotiate, and they gave up to 8 different offers to Winston warmonger pederast Churchill to stop the war. Nah, he was desperate for war. He even said in 1936, we will destroy Germany, they're too powerful. And they talk about, the evil German Empire. This is Britain, who earned 1/3 of the world at the time, going, the evil Germans are trying to expand their empire. They had nothing. It's sickening. That's the reality. History is written by the victors, the wrong-uns, and the bankers, and the elitists, and it's a lie. Anyway, back to Vladimir Klitschko, because this is a boxing channel, you feel me? There's some red pillness going on, you feel me? But this is essentially a boxing channel, no Corey channel, no Pum Pum channel, no politics channel. A little sprinkle of red pills with your boxing. So, so Vladimir said, no, I'm definitely not coming back. I'm looking after my people. Well, go. Yeah, you're of age. You're fit, you just told me. Yeah, you're a bit old, but they're already sending old people to war on both sides. Guys at 60 are fighting. So why are you not in the front line fighting with your pimp, your PIMP brother Vitaly? Huh? Why are you not fighting then, if you're so concerned? You just sit there running your human trafficking, knocking shops, sickening people, them two. However, a report has been published by the Ring magazine, which recently has been bought by Turkey Al Sheikh, right? And apparently Klitschko is seriously considering coming back. So he last fought in 2017 when Gay Jay stopped him, with that famous uppercut. There's loads of memes of Klitschko's neck stretching, but Vladimir almost knocked him out. If he jumped on Gage had that stupid look on his face. You know when someone gets hurt and they're pretending they're not, and he got that stupid grin on their face? That was Gage. And if Vladimir had jumped on him, he probably would have knocked him out. But Vitaly apparently told him, no, just stay on the back foot, keep boxing. I don't know, maybe they thought Gage might just, slow down, wither away. But ultimately, it's a poor plan. Maybe it's a setup. Who knows? Maybe it's a setup, Illuminati setup. Who knows? All the normies go, no, of course it wasn't. If it was a setup, Vitaly would have gone over. Vladimir would have gone over in the early rounds and stayed down. And no way David Morrell threw that fight, even though he was laughing and slapping hands and wasn't disappointed when the decision went against him and he did an Ali shuffle and he didn't. Shut up, man. Shut up. So, he'll be 49 by the time he come back, Vladimir. I think the record is George Foreman. Won the belts, WBA and IBF from Michael Moorer when he was 45. That's an amazing fight. I can still remember that. Hearing it on the radio going, oh no, he's done it. But, yeah, and I think he, according to this, what did he do? He had the IBF title until June 1996, so he was 46 and a half years old when he eventually lost the title. So that's pretty nuts, right? Now who would he fight? Well, would he go straight in for a big fight? Usyk is obviously his countryman. I can't see that happening. Well, let me be straight. Usyk, he has to do what he has to do. He's another one who's not in the front line, draft dodger. But, I'm glad he's not, because none of these people should be fighting. They should be just getting up, shake hands, and walk home. They're ethnically, culturally, very similar people as well. The indigenous ones, right? So, would he jump straight in? I don't think he'd fight Usyk, even though they are on... See, Usyk has to play the game, but he is said to actually lean I think he has some Russian ancestry in him. Yeah, unlike the Klitschkos. Yeah, and they worship at a different place. So maybe, but I don't know. Usyk's very good for the Ukrainian propaganda. You can fight the winner of Daniel Dubum and Joseph Parker. Would he have a chance? I don't know. I haven't seen him. Yeah, he hasn't boxed for whatever it is, 8 years. Yes, he keeps in shape, but he's still 49. We've seen these guys come back and they're just terrible, when they're older. But Bernard Hopkins when he was still boxing, like 52. He was still boxing in world class, so it's possible. Hopkins obviously had a big break when he was in prison. I think he was in prison for 10 years, or at least he got a 10-year sentence. And he's known as Soapy Bernard. Apparently he used to hang around the showers, soap himself up so he couldn't be, and then attack, grape people in the showers. So what you know about that, Soapy Bernard? But like the fighters that came back and did well when they're old, like George Foreman, like Bernard Hopkins, they had a lot of time off. So they weren't taking punches to the head. Okay? And that's similar to Vladimir, actually, because he's obviously been off since 2017. And no doubt he's stayed in shape, and no doubt he's on the petite dish. So, will it happen? Probably not. They're probably just getting more PR for themselves, for their country, trying to take the heat off the fact that it's come out that Vitaly is a people trafficker and a PIMP. And I will do a video on that later, believe that. But just check this one tweet of this human rights campaigner. As I said, back to the boxing. Do we believe it will happen? I don't know. Like I said, they probably just want their face. Like to say, they want to take the heat off the suggestions that the human traffickers and pimps. They are, by the way. There's a lady and some other people even name the places that are owned by Vitaly. So they're owned by Vitaly legally, and they're knocking shops and strip joints. Okay? Yeah, and especially in war, a lot of human trafficking goes on. Right? So They could be just taking the heat off that by talking about this stupid comeback. I don't think it'll happen. As I said to you, Dr. Steelhammer. Dr. Steelhammer. What was Vitaly called? Oh, that's right. Dr. Iron Fist, which is a bit fruity. Dr. Iron Fister. Yeah. He should be called Dr. Pimp, Dr. Human Trafficker, Dr. Iron Trafficker. I don't know. He's a wrong un. So, it's impossible to know what would happen. I mean, D-Bomb's probably too young, too hard hitting. Vladimir's chin was never that great. Parker, I've never been that hugely impressed by Parker. He does go over. He's still youngish though, but he's not that dangerous. He's not a big puncher. That would actually probably suit Vladimir quite well because he'd have big advantage, in height and reach, And as I said, Parker's chin is decent, but it's not great. He's not an OTG Samoan chin because he has been chinned, including by Joe Joyce. And the Big Bang, Zhalai Zhang almost zhanged him. So yeah, I don't think it'll happen. It sounds weird, like I'm sick of hearing about all these old boys trying to fight, but I'd actually like it to happen. Why? Because the Klitschkos are vile, disgusting, slaves for the elite, PIMPs, traffickers, right? Propagandists, okay, for the cause. So, I'd like to actually see Vladimir come back and get a hammering, get put over properly. I used to really like the Klitschkos, by the way, until I realized, I got red pilled and I realized what they were up to and what kind of people they were because I just, it was just interesting to these two brothers, both win the world title, Vladimir used to be exciting until he got stopped a couple times. He started to clutch, they call him Klitschko and all that. And it's true, he did it. And, back in the day, they didn't allow you to clinch like this. And the fighters had too much pride to do that. If you watch them, they get hurt, and on the inside, they're still bobbing, they're weaving. They don't just clutch you like Vladimir Klitschko. Yeah? So, but, I did... Vitaly was always in half-decent fights. The Corey Sanders was a bit messy, but Corey Sanders had ironed out his brother in a huge upset. That was funny. Vladimir had grown his hair, and his hair looked kind of cool. But after that, he cut his hair short. And his hair was flying around as Corey Sanders, because Corey Sanders wasn't really that interested in boxing. He was a really good athlete. He could run the 100 meters in 10.5 seconds. Now you might think, oh well, haha. That's 1 second slower than Usain Bolt or whatever. But hang on, this is a huge man who isn't a professional sprinter and he didn't train to sprint. He's really good at golf as well. Unfortunately, he's been killed. But Corey Sanders, he didn't take no PEDs. Look at his body, right? Look at Corey Sanders' body. That's not a PED body, unlike the Klitschko's. So I'd be perfectly happy to see Vladimir come back and get knocked the F out. I don't know who I'd want him to fight, really. Yeah, I mean, the best fight for him if he wants to go straight in, as I said, would be Joseph Parker, but he's got to beat Dubum. I think Dubum would be too young, and he hits hard, and he just seems to have peaked and suddenly started to look really good. Like I said, probably because of his new PEDs, but like I said, I'm sick of hearing about this, and I'm going to do yet another video. There's yet another heavyweight champion, ex-heavyweight champion, who wants to come back, David Gay. David Gay is apparently going to launch a comeback, so we'll talk about that. And remember, Vladimir schooled David Gay. What was weird in that fight, though, before I go, both were known to be a bit chinny, or thought to be chinny. David Hay got dropped at light heavyweight and cruiserweight, and he got dropped by a super middleweight. Some African guy used to wear a zebra skin or a leopard skin into the ring. And but at heavyweight, his chin sort of suddenly got better. And that's what I mean about PDs making your chin better. They do. They make everything better. Reflexes, speed, power, right? Yeah. I even made when I done the Debo, right? They even made my eyesight better, sharper, like a young man. It's really bizarre. So, and David Hay and Vladimir are both known to be chinny, but both of them took hit each other really with solid, clean shots, and neither of them went over. I mean, David Gay sort of leant over and hugged Vladimir's legs, and also he hurt his toe. Poor sausage. Poor sausage hurt his toe. But yeah, we'll talk about David Gay in a minute. But like I said, Vladimir coming back actually would make me laugh. So anyway, peace, guys, in the Middle East. Peace in Ukraine and peace in Russia too. But of course, the bankers, elitists, and powermongers don't want that, do they? No. And the PIMPs, Vitaly doesn't want it, does he? No, because war is great for exploiting people and trafficking humans.